So I'm doing this out of a labor of love, and I'm hoping that I can kind of keep the enthusiasm up for you all, and so you can kind of have the same drive for learning the Schumann resonances and the atmospheric electromagnetics that I do. It's what I'm hoping for. That it's not just that you're coming because you think, oh, the Schumann resonances will help you ascend, but I want you to know this because I want you to know the material. I want you to understand the material and have a love for it like I do. Wow, woo, woo, woo. Gutenberg's galaxy. All right, so Gutenberg was the inventor of the printing press. Big deal, big deal, big deal. All right. The printing press was quite the invention, and I say this for my, as I ask my guides, please help me, direct me, tell me, give me inspiration, whatever, explain this to me. When I was doing a deep dive with the Aquarian age with my guides, there was an exercise of at what point. All right, let me just say this. We're talking about the procession of the equinoxes. We're talking about the ages. There's the great month is 2,500 years, roughly speaking, but there's an overlap, right? People don't realize this. They think one just stops and the other one starts, and like, you're talking about, it's the great year is 26,000 years. It completes its cycle in 26,000 years. The great year is not exactly 26,000 years in length, but everything has to line up, all the gears and everything. So it's roughly 25,900, whatever, but there still has to be that last little bit of the closing out of all the old accounts. So this is where we're at. I talk about this, the closing out of all the old accounts, where everything has to clear out, everything gets cashed out from the old age and translated into the new age. And part of the new age, the Aquarian age, is digital. I order the way. But there's more to it than that. There's a lot more to it. And this is part of what we're dealing with, discussing with here, is the movement of language, text, what text has been, the book, right? That's text. That has been, the written word has been text. The printed word has been text. It no longer is that. There is text that we send the keyboard with, but the text of the original writing was not the QWERTY keyboard, QWERTY, QWERTY, which is the top row of keys, keyboard. It was different. It has been different. It's been different. And the language has moved through this phase is printing and the ubiquity of knowledge and understanding and wisdom proclaimed out to the rest of y'all, apart from or externally or remotely from the spoken and the direct immediate felt experience. It's to be able to remotely transmit ideas out beyond your group, your immediate looky-loos that can see you. As it were. I think that's a great expression, looky-loo. I think it's a commonly known enough thing. People get it, and I think it's within context or used if you say it the right way, and people know it, like a looky-loo. So I got lost where I was, but the Aquarian. So we're moving into the Aquarian age, and but it's trust me, like a big, huge bit of equipment, it takes a while for it to gain momentum. You have to, and this is the great month. A great month is 2,500. I believe it's 2,500 years. Duration of it. Its proper duration is 2,500 years. In recognition, but it takes a while to ramp up and a while to close out. So there is this overlap between one or the other. There's definitely a point where we switch from one to the other, and that point is, how do I say this? Before the other one can start, before the new one starts, the old one has to end out. Okay, and there is a official recognized closing point, and even yet, it's not. It's like all of the remote offices, satellites haven't all checked in. They don't all know that it's over. They know that like their part is over. They keep chugging along until they hit the wall. And the wall is when that new age kicks in. So I think agreeably, the 2012 point marks a significant waypoint. And I explained that the ending of the Mayan calendar, who are the Mayans, blah blah. The Mayans invented the zero, right? Who were the Mayans? They gave you the zero. Yeah, they're zeros. That's it. The Mayans are the earthly equivalent of a zero, right? Calendar, the Mayan calendar, the long count, uh, ended at 2012. They equated it out in the date and everything, 2012. Okay, why did it end? It's the end of the old epic. However, there's momentum, and it's not until I humbly submit to you the end of the Kala Yuga, Kalayuga. I've written about this. I've talked about this. This is the great year, the end of the great year. Officially, celestially, everything stops, or resets in 2024. Officially, boom, right? This is what my guides told me. And so that's the kind of the end of the line, so to speak. And then boom, we are now officially 100% full tilt boogie in the Aquarian age from, January 1st, 2014, 2024 rather, sorry. Um, and so there's been varying waypoints between, 2012 and 2024. There was for a lot of people, there was a sudden kind of a shift that had happened. So I don't want to use the word awakening because that's, people have no idea what that means. But there was a shift that happened in people's perspective. A lot of things changed. A lot of things happened. And, people would say, well, that, I came awake then, 2014, 2015, and so since then, that's the first waiver has kind of got, kicked in, activated, right? That's, I like to use that word, not awaken, you got activated, right? You became a crew. That's the way I like to look at it. Not awakened. No, you got activated as a crew, right? And so you may not know what that means. You may not even think you're part of the crew, but whatever. But no, yep, you're crew. You don't have to accept it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to use that title or want to use that title or think you're part of it. That's fine, right? You may not be part of my crew. I'll accept that. That's a thing. Yeah, I'll fully accept you not part of my crew, and you don't have to call yourself a crew, and you can act as one of the passengers. That's fine, but um, you know, whatever. Uh, so so we're closing out, and this is all, take it, whatever, take it, if you if it resonates with you, take this and work with it. If not, that's fine. You can leave it. That's what this is. It's either take it and believe it or leave it and don't retrieve it, Um, but either way, this is this is my thing, and I know what I know for myself. And because I'm saying this and people want to know and you're concerned and I get my whatever from, my guides, I can't deny it to other people. And I have this public platform and y'all want to hear what I have to say. And the ones that know that I'm tapped in, and what I know is because I'm supposed to know it, right? And I ask for myself, right? And yet it does help and does benefit and does as well help other people. And that's why we do this. That's what we're doing this. I get the answers. I don't share it with you because I need it verified or validated, or hey, what's your thought on this? That's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing it because I get this answer. I meditate, I open up, I meditate, and I need to open it up to you so we can have a discussion. And if you don't believe it, that's fine. But if you don't agree with it, that's fine. You can state it, but don't be rude. To get back on track, the first dawning rays of the Aquarian age were at the printing press, and there was other things I could mention. There were one of them I talk about is the play called Everyman, and that was around 15 something or other. At different points, depending on what part of society it affects or what, where in the scheme of things that the particular area falls under, it depends on at what point that it was kicked in, like Madame Curie and like a lot of stuff got kicked in the 1800s. Like, all right, the like electronics and all that got kicked in the 1800s, but there was stuff in the 1700s, Descartes, Rene Descartes, late 1600s, calculus, algebra, Isaac Newton, all these guys, names that the giants upon which we stand invented calculus. What the fuck? Engineering. I'm taking college courses, engineering. I have a vocational, educational, high school training. I'm smart. In fourth grade, I have 120, over 120. I tapped the meter in fourth grade. It was actually technically 132. It didn't measure that high. It capped off at 120 because the rest of the fourth graders don't have 120 IQ. They had no idea what to do with me. um, so yeah, so we're in the Aquarian age. We're moving. We're officially in the Aquarian age. As the other one ended. When the other one ended in 2012, we're officially in it. But there's this catwalk, this space, this it's what is happening right now is a demilitarized zone, the DMZ. The people that know who are officially defeated know they have to get off the battlefield at this point, right? They know they got to get off the field. Some of them are in hiding. So it's the point now that they're locating and running down the ones in hiding who are refusing to leave. And we're now down to the last two. Like you get the 2 minute warning. We're closing in on the last 2 year warning, and the worst of the worst will have to percolate up. Right? So it's sort of what we're expecting at this point, and just keep your vibes positive and you should make it through the blah blah blah. So depending on what part of society you're in, and some of the stuff happened in the 1400s that released it, and we're talking about a new age and stuff that has to happen, whatever. So this is my guides have told me to work with. You take this as you want, take it or believe it, take it or leave it. Take it and believe it or leave it, as you see fit. So, the printing press was one of those important things. It equalized a lot of stuff. And the way that water kind of does, water just sort of figures shit out. Eventually, it all, water is amazing, this planet. Most of it's salt water, but there certainly isn't enough fresh water, at least on the surface, right? There's a lot of fresh water underneath, but what's on the surface is salt water. And it does amazing stuff, right? And it has a way, water has a way of kind of dissolving a lot of solid. So things that you thought were solid or you believe are solid are no more, and they're breaking down to their constituent components, as it were. So one of those things is educating everyone, right? That we were there, we, they, it is not using language to hide from, to hide things, speaking clearly. And part of what's happening now is language is breaking down. It's needed to, but in some ways that are kind of messed up, quite honestly. But part of the problem is that it's not just language itself. There's thought form that's attached to the language. And this is one of the, the issues that I'm talking about, I'm dealing with, is the thoughts conveying, the type of thoughts, the movement of the thoughts based on the type of presentation of the language. Right? Written communication as script is one thing. Print, linotype is another. Text on a screen, a viewer, is yet a whole nother other thing as well. Whole nother thing as well. So, I'm a tech guy. I'm a tech. I know computer stuff. I was there from the beginning, like fixing vacuum tubes or, replacing, not fixing them, but fixing vacuum tube equipment, and learning about that. Uh, and so I've since then I've just have a love for this stuff. So of all the people my age, I'm one of the furthest along, because I've just had a fascination for tech, and so I have a screen. I'm looking at it, and I'm used to seeing it as a document, and so I can read it as if it's but it's like this is a light. This is electrons that are being thrown at me as opposed to something that's printed. So text has moved from Gutenberg's, what I use the expression, Gutenberg's galaxy. That's an expression that Terence McKenna uses. It's a great one. I like it. He talks about the world that was produced, I think, or created by Gutenberg as a result of the printing press. And what becomes missing from visual communication, going from not just, hand signals, the intricacy of hand signals transposed onto, a written, linear, form, that which is bad enough, and then transformed into just a straight line text. And then it's not even the handiwork, handcrafting anymore when you have to use a keyboard. There's a degree of confounding of the language in creating a keyboard, yet the trade-off and the ubiquitousness of being able to decipher the keyboard and the shortcuts and the codes that, well, it precludes people my age from the technology and actually moving forward into the Aquarian age. It's like, it's a point of getting stuck at a roadblock, a wall, as everything is closed out. Believe it or not, online banking. I'm now locked out of my online banking. Right? Forgot my passcode yet again. Luckily for me, the card itself still works at the ATM still. But I've lost my card and been, oh good God, yeah, things are changing radically and drastically, and by the minute as we move toward the deadline, Dr. Ben, Unsuspicious Observers, has his deadline, and I have my deadline, and like everyone has their own thing going on, and it's be nice to just kind of truck along and not think about a deadline. However, I'm a visitor here. I'm a volunteer. All my family is gone. All of my family is gone. My blood family is gone. Karmically, I'm all done, right? So, after my mother passed away, my stepmom Ellen, my sister Holly, friend CJ, he was like of the friend group, he was the one that kept everyone together. Like it's just, oy vey. I'm trying not to think about this, but it's ever present. And as I am just today, locked out of my, online banking, it's like, and then I get into PayPal with a passcode. If you can't remember your password to get into the app, you're fucked. You're effed. Online, everything online. I knew this and the end of 1993, 4, I think 95. Yeah, 95, I think it kind of sunk in. And then 98, it was 98, it was 98% there. And then didn't take much long to realize, yeah, we're we're there. Make sure that you write down your passwords somewhere where no one will see them and we don't lose them and blah blah blah. Anyway, and always remember to back up your data. Just seriously, back up your data. Make a copy of it frequently. Schedule it. Don't forget. And do not do it during Mercury retrograde ever, ever. Don't do any computer repair, electronic repair, none of it on a Mercury retrograde. Trust me on this, or you will regret it. I'm not predicting anything for you. I'm not prophesying anything for you, but from my personal experience, from people who've done that, they've regretted it. My boss lost all her contacts on a Mercury retrograde on her phone, all of her contacts. All right.